What is up?
It's like I'm
Hi.
talking to a celebrity. I'm so excited.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm like flushing for real. I'm like,
Oh, you're making me flush. Like, oh my God,
that is so funny. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So you're in Texas. You're based out of Texas. And so it is 1:00 your time, right?
Yes, it's 1:00
Nice.
over here. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, so this is Estephania, and you pronounce your last name Saavedra?
Saavedra. Yes,
Oh,
you
close.
said
I
it
was close.
perfectly.
I was
Yes.
close. I was
Yeah,
not quite
and
there,
even
but
my
I was close.
name. A lot of people get that wrong, so you got it.
Well, it's the flipped R, right? Like
Yeah, it's like Stephania, Stephania.
Yeah, Stephania. It's
Yeah.
such a beautiful name. My God.
Yeah.
So since posting about you coming on starting Monday,
Mhm.
when I say that you're a TikTok star, I legitimately mean that. When I say, because since posting that you were coming on, you've already picked up at least 5,000 new followers within the first half of this week. No lie, like she wasn't at 300,000 and now she's at 304. So no, you picked up what, 6 or 7,000 new followers?
It was about there. Yeah. On a good day,
Well, I mean, I feel like we're gonna get into sort of why that's happening and how people can make that happen. And I feel like there's also
For
probably
sure.
a tipping point, right?
Oh yeah, there is.
Like once you get
coasters.
enough. Exactly. Okay, so for those people who may not, like, who are watching, who might not be on TikTok, first of all, shame on you. TikTok is amazing. And, right? And also, kind of tell us who you are, your background, how you got here. And I want to say before you get started, this is something I always forget to say in the beginning for the people who are watching us live. As you're watching this is definitely a conversation between she and I, but this is also a conversation between us and you. So if you have comments, questions for her, if she says something and you're like, ooh, explain that more, feel free to ask. We are here to answer your questions.
Sure.
You can do that in one of two ways. The first way is to put your question or your love for her, because you will love her by the end of this, I promise, in the comment section. Or you can also hit the question card, which is right next to the comment section. That lets me know that it's an actual question you want me to bring up onto the screen. Either way is good. But in the meantime, because she's here, give her hearts right now. Tell her that you love her. Tell her that you love her. Give her some hearts.
Bring them.
Okay. So tell us all about you, where you're from, how, like, the journey. I'm just really, really curious.
Sure. Yes. Well, I'm originally from Ecuador. It's in South America. So, but my parents brought me here to the States when I was 4 years old. So, we lived in New York for a couple of years, and then we moved to Florida. Pretty much, I think everybody that migrates here is looking for a better lifestyle, better living, especially for your kids. So, they took that risk, and we were here undocumented for a very long time. So it's kind of tough, but, we managed. I went to school here, and, I learned English. I learned the language, which was really great. But I was raised in South Florida, in Broward. So grew up there, and then moved to Orlando in 2009. So I was there for some time, met my husband.
Who, by the way, is like half of, I feel like half of what you do is probably him behind the camera. This is something I definitely want to ask you about, like all the camera movements and stuff. Is definitely your husband doing it, right? That's amazing.
I have no friends. So,
me neither.
So, it's me most of the time begging him or sometimes bribing him, and be like, just come on, babe, but he's a good trooper. So, give him hands up there. But yeah, so we met in 2011 in Orlando, and then we've been through this journey where we've moved a couple of places here and there, and now we're in Houston. So,
awesome.
It's still hot. Nothing has changed.
Is it as humid in Houston as it is in Florida? I would imagine it's not, but I don't know.
My parents have lived here since 2013. So I always thought, I'm like, oh, it is so much hotter in Florida. The humidity is horrible. Ugh, it's disgusting. I think it's the same exact thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. It really is. And people have told me that in the past. I'm like, no, come to Florida. I'm going to come to Florida. Y'all need to go and check out the humidity there. But no, Houston is, I think, it's just as humid, and but it does get cooler here. So that's a plus for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Houston is on the coast of the thing,
Pretty
right?
much.
Yeah.
It's very
like
close.
I know what I'm talking about. I definitely don't.
I mean, we'll just we'll throw it out there.
Just throw it out there. That's awesome. Okay, so you moved here when you were 4. By the way, the TikTok where you played like the young version of yourself, and you were like, "This is my story," and I was like, "It's so cute," because you were so adorable. Yeah, it was so cute.
Thanks.
How did you get into comedy? Because you're also a stand-up, right? You do stand-up comedy and stuff?
No, not really. No.
Oh, I totally thought you were. Well, you should. I feel like you absolutely should. You should develop that, because I feel like you would do well.
Really? Thanks.
I really do. Yeah. So tell me how you kind of got into. Have you been doing comedy stuff before TikTok? Like, because I know makeup is a big thing, and we'll talk about that in a minute. You know, so kind of like, what has that journey been like for you?
It's been pretty great, but so what I think it is, I've always been into acting. And dancing, singing, Thespian Honor Society, you know.
What?
I've always
Me too.
So I've always loved anything that had to do with acting. Then it kind of got to a point where I was just like, you know, this is not for me. I don't want to do this. And I think it was more because of I was listening to everyone else instead of listening to what I really wanted. But I kind of got away from that for a long time. But anyways, I think I've always been like a goofball. Like I've never really, you know, called myself like a comedian, but I've always been the one, and I could tell like from my friends that we're, you know, it's 4 of us that we're very, very close. But since we were young, I was always like, they were always laughing at what I would say. Like I was always like, you know, the jokester, and I would, you know, just make them crack up. And the same thing, I just like a good vibe, a positive vibe. I've always been like that. And I think my dad is like that too. So I think that that kind of related with me. Like, you know, everybody just chill. You know, I'm always trying to be like the peacemaker. No, you know what? Let's get together. Let's all have peace and let's have a good time. That's always been me. So, but yeah, I never really said I was like, yeah. I think now I'm starting to kind of come around and be like, well, maybe I am a comedian. I mean, I'm making people laugh. So that's, you know.
Not just laugh, girl, cackle. There is a difference when people watch your videos. It's cackling. I mean, at least for me, it's like full on cackling for at least 15, 20 seconds out loud. And my husband's like, is that Estephania? I was like,
That's too funny.
I want to also just throw this out here, girl. If you ever want to come out here to LA, I will shoot some footage of you for, like, if you are interested in doing acting stuff. I'm just saying.
All right,
you just let me know.
I mean, this is live. Everybody.
You all heard me. That's awesome.
Definitely down. That would be great. That would be awesome.
I just feel I'm it's so funny. I was telling my husband this morning, like, the problem of TikTok for me is twofold. One, it sucks away an hour of my time each and every time. And I'm like, I look up and I'm like, what just happened? Where did the time go?
Where am I? Yeah.
And then secondly, I find people like you, and I'm like, I just want to cast them in something. Can I like reach out to them and be like, can I just put you in a scene? Can I like cast you in something? And that's how I feel about you. That's how I feel about a couple other people I've kind of flagged and like then popped over to Instagram to follow.
Yeah.
You know, I think what's so cool about putting material out and the volume of material that you are putting out specifically is, one, really, really impressive. And two, I think, like, my reaction is not different than like if a casting director were watching you. You know what I mean? I am watching you and I'm going, I really want to use her in something. How can I make that happen? And I think a lot of actors, I mean, our core audience here who are watching this are, you know, actors and creators and stuff. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that the more you put out and the more you are authentic with your style and your vibe, the more it's going to shine through. You are not like anybody else, right? So, and that's what makes you special. And like, and I wish that people would totally understand that this is why. Like, I reached out to you and I was like, girl, I love your stuff. Will you please come online with me? And you were like, sure. That conversation easily could have been a casting director or somebody doing a film, or even somebody in, like, you know, Texas who's like, I'm making something, I think you'd be perfect for this role. That absolutely can happen, but it wouldn't have happened if you didn't put your stuff out. Can you hear me? Yes, I can.
Okay, I thought, like, I blanked out, the computer turned off, and I was like, oh my God, the lights went out. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. My phone, for some reason, just keeps dimming every 60 seconds or so. Technology, what can I say?
Yes.
Okay, so you began your TikTok journey when? Like, how recent was it?
Okay, so I would say, you remember when Musical.ly came out? Okay, so that was like years ago. I would say maybe like in 2015, I did a few videos. You know, I started seeing like some people posting some stuff on Instagram or on Facebook, and I really got into it. I was like, oh, these are so cool. And a couple of people were like, you should do more. And I was like, no, you know, I was like so like self-conscious. I was like, no, I'm gonna look like a goofball, but whatever. So then that kind of, you know, stopped. And then actually my nieces, they're twin girls, they're 16 years old, and they, you know, they're in TikTok, and they're like, Tia, you know, Tia is on in Spanish, by the way. Tia, you gotta look at this video. And I'm like, you know, what is this? Like, I can't, no, you know, I'm too old. I'm doing millennial stuff, you know. So I was like, no. And then come to find out, my husband is like, oh, look at this TikTok video. And I'm like, you know what?
You're
so
like, what?
Yeah, I was like, kind of like, really? Like, are you, you know? And then he started sending me more videos, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is content that I like. So then I was like, okay. So then I downloaded TikTok, and this was like the beginning of the year. So of this year. And I was like, okay, you know, so then I started, you know, looking at certain videos, and I guess the more you like them, the more they kind of get like used to what you like, you know, what your interests are. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then after that, it was just like,
I gotta do it.
I gotta do it. I mean, I gotta get some content, you know, and I started getting ideas and all this, and I was like hours on end on TikTok.
I know. I'm telling you, it's like, it will suck your life away. I mean, but in a good way. I have learned, for sure. Like, there's the comedy content that the content that I've taught it that I like is comedy stuff like you, tips and tricks and things to learn.
Yes.
And then, like, anything like mental health or like Black Lives Matter or anything like that, that's like all I see. But I'll tell you what, I know, like, we share a brain. It's totally cool. The thing is, though, every single time I get on, I have to remind it, because all it wants to do is show me white people at first. And I'm like, I am one, but I don't want to watch that. They're boring. So I have to like reteach it. It's so sad. I have to like reteach the algorithm every time I get on there, which is another thing we can talk about, is like diversity on TikTok and all of that. But we'll get there. I'm really curious more about the comedy stuff first.
Yeah.
So you've been on TikTok, sounds like about a year and a half, 2 years, or longer?
No.
Shorter?
So like the beginning of this year. So I would say maybe in January. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That makes your trajectory even more impressive. Oh my God.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's
all right. So
crazy.
Since January, you've amassed, as of this morning, 304.7 thousand followers since January.
Crazy. I'm just like, for me it's crazy, and it's a humbling feeling like I feel blessed. Like I just love my followers. They're like hardcore fans, and I'm just like, let's get it.
Hello.
You know,
Yes.
you know? Like,
yeah.
I loved it. I love it so much. But
do you feel since then, like having this many people now, has it shifted sort of how you thought about making content? Are you more aware of what you're making? Are you more aware that people are looking at, like, how has that changed for you?
It definitely is. You know, I always try to think always with positive intent first. You know, I try to create everything surrounded by positivity. And also I want to include, make sure everyone is included, you know, everyone. So I don't want to exclude anyone out. And I'm very aware of like, okay, what do I want to say? If I'll say something and I'm like, oh, I don't think that's like, you know, good, or, you know, even I have a lot of kids that also watch my stuff, and I'm like, I gotta watch my vocabulary sometimes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? With certain
Yeah.
videos. So I'm like, I want everyone to watch my stuff. You know, it's not only just a certain type of category of people that will watch it, but I just want, it's family. Like, you know, I'm like ABC family. Just, I want everybody to watch me. You know what I mean?
I absolutely believe that you should be on ABC, because ABC is owned by Disney, and I totally think you could be on a Disney show and an ABC show like you are.
Oh, love you.
There's like two different types of, I think two different kind of categories of comedy. There's like cable comedy and network comedy, and I feel like you're absolutely network comedy, which is so cool. By the way, somebody asked when he could get his autographed pair of tiny hands, and I was like, that's a great idea. She should sell those. So,
I mean,
there they are, and I love the pair that you have with nails.
I got them here. I mean, I have them ready for you, Melly.
Oh, girl. Okay, so let's talk about tiny hands, because this is the first stuff that I saw you doing. Okay. And okay, so tell everybody sort of, if they've never seen your content, kind of what your main stuff is with the tiny hands and the stuff. So tell them how you got there.
Sure.
And, yeah.
So yeah, I actually in the beginning I started doing a lot of lip sync. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Mostly like characters. Like one of my favorite is like Olaf or King
You're really
Julian.
good at Olaf.
Thank you. Like those are my favorite. Like I love doing those characters and stuff. But then I actually saw a TikToker. I'm not sure if you follow her. Her name is Call Me Chris. Yes.
She's the blonde.
The blonde, yeah, she's blonde hair. And I actually saw a video with her doing the tiny hands. I'm like, she's genius. Like, why, you know? So then I'm like, I'm gonna order a pair. And at first I didn't really think that I was gonna use them for videos. I just really wanted a pair. I'm like, Amazon has everything in, you know,
everything you could ever want. Yeah.
So I was like, I got them. They came, it was like 5 pairs for $7. So even my husband like was playing with them and everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, babe, I should do a video with my tiny hands, like, you know, like calling Chris. So he's like, yeah, okay, go for it. And then that's what it all really started. So most of my content is, you know, of course, the lip sync and a little bit of just like original content that I want to incorporate with like me growing up and everything that I've experienced. But I even said like, oh, you know what, it's gonna get to a point where people are not gonna want the tiny hands anymore. But on the contrary,
I want the tiny hands. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So then I'm like, okay, let's go for it, full force. So yeah, so a lot of my content does have my tiny hands, you know. And
although I saw that video where you posted the comment that was like, the tiny hands are getting old, and you're like, they'll never get old.
Yes.
I was like, that's
I mean, it's
right.
so true. They can't.
Right.
I think they get funnier, you know. So I'm like, I can't stop it. They're here forever. Yeah.
They're here forever. That's so cool. So how do you you know, for somebody, I mean, you just produce so many videos. How many times do you post a day?
So I try to do at least 3 to 5 videos a day.
That's so many like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Your system then must be pretty locked in. Like, I bet at the beginning you weren't doing that many videos.
No, not at all. Not at all. I even took like a hiatus for a little bit. So it was maybe for like 2-3 weeks that I wasn't posting. And then when I came back, that's when I got the tiny hands and everything just blew up and it was crazy. But yeah, so then I'm like, okay, I need an assistant now. Like, I need help. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I think that's going to happen for you. If it were my guess, like, I like, part of my life's joy is helping people also strategize business. And I'm kind of like, girl, we should talk because I have ideas for you.
Yes. That is so important. You know, a lot of people think that like, oh, you're just doing TikTok videos. There's like so much in
tell us what
we do.
Oh
my God.
Yeah. Okay. So walk people through the whole thing. Cause I think some people who are new to content creation, or even if they've done like web series or short films and they want to get into the space where they're just putting out more stuff because it's so important, it's a little intimidating because I don't think that people understand sort of what that looks like. So for somebody who puts out 3 to 5 videos a day, tell us kind of how you do that, how you manage to do that. What do you use? How do you find material? Like, what is the whole process for you? Like?
Yeah. So, like in the beginning, of course, it wasn't like that at all. It was just, you know, whatever I find, you know, I'm going to post it. I got a lot of my inspiration through like just really scrolling and what people were doing on TikTok. So, that's how I started, you know, with a lip sync here and there. But now, you know, now that it's more of a, I feel, you know, this is pretty much my job. Like,
it's like a job. Yeah.
It's a job, you know, so
it's a really fun job, but it's still a job. Yeah.
It's still a job. Yeah. And sometimes I'm just like, you know, I'm tired and I don't want to do this, but I mean, it's, again, I'm committed, you know, to everyone that follows me and everything. So what I really do is I try to write everything down. I have a little notepad, and any type of idea, any type of thing that I see or that I hear, that I read, I write it down. If I don't have my notepad, I will write it. I will post it on my notepad on my phone. Yes, you know, or I'll record something like, okay, remember to buy blah blah blah, you know. So I try to, because I got to a point where I was just like, I call it my baby poop face, because I'm just like, you know, just staring into like, like, and my husband's like, you okay? You okay? And I'm like, what? You know, and like, I caught myself a couple times doing that, and I was like, I need to strategize. I need to kind of get myself organized. So yeah, I started writing. I think that's one of the most important things, is to write things down. Then after that, I actually started doing like, once I had an idea, I would say, okay, so these 4 videos, I can do them for this day. And then this one, I could do it. So I would kind of break it down, you know. And
kind
again,
of like batching when you do the recording of it.
Correct. So yeah, so I would take one part of, you know, I'd have like different ideas, say 10 ideas. So I would take 3 of those, and this is going to be for Tuesday. And then the other 3 is going to be for the next day, and then the other 3, you know. So that's something that like I try to do. And the same thing with TikTok is a very, very, it's a really good tool as well to save your things. So you can save the sounds, you can save videos, you know, add them to your favorites. That way you have like a little, it's kind of like a little inbox of all the things that you can use and, you know, use as videos, especially things that are trending. Like I try to do it like right away, because I mean, there's just so many people doing it. So I try to get.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't hop on that train immediately, then it's left the station and there's a new one, you know.
Yeah. I'm not going to be like right now, I'm a savage. You know, that was like, you know, a few months ago.
That was like 2 months ago. So yeah, you know, I mean, it's basically like 10 years ago in internet time.
That's right. You know, like, really? Come on. You know, get with the times, Brandy. You know?
That's awesome. Yeah. How do you find okay, so by the way, I take notes while you're talking so that I can like wrap it up. So number 1, your first step was really good, just committing to the platform, committing to yourself that you were going to make as much as you can. When you made that commitment, was it were you like, I'm just going to do this because I think it's fun? Or you're like, I really see this going somewhere? Kind of what was that for you that you think made you commit to this? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think from the beginning, when I first started this, I actually wanted to do it for myself. I was going, in the beginning of this year, I was going through a really rough time, just mentally and emotionally, with myself. And that's when I was like, you know what, I really need to change whatever it is that's going on right now in my life. And I did. You know, there was a lot of stuff happening at work, and well, quarantine got, you know, COVID-19 kind of got in the way of everything. I was actually going to start a new job, but then it was in the airport, and you know, yeah, so it was just crazy. So crazy time. So then, you know, I decided to shave my hair off. I mean, like, I did completely drastic changes. Yes, it was.
What? You had like long hair?
Yeah.
Or like just like this, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
your hair is beautiful, by the way. Oh my gosh, your hair is so beautiful. It's like so curly. And by the way, I want to, like, you have cheekbones for days, and they are just so awesome. And I'm like, you make it fucking cut glass. Like, it's just so good. And every time you smile, and I'm like, you do like a little profile, I'm like, oh, look at her cheekbones. They're so beautiful.
Give you some.
Yes, I just like want to geek out on your cheekbones. I don't know what's wrong with me. I also like, mine weren't up here. It's like here. It's like chipmunk face for me.
No, you are beautiful.
I mean, not so much now, but like when I was a kid. So you did a drastic change, and you decided to commit it for yourself. Correct. That's so cool. Yeah. It's kind of like how I equate it to like Alanis Morissette. I don't know if you ever listened to her as a kid. Probably not, but.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how old you are. I'll be 40 this year, so like I was coming up in the like 90s was. Yeah, okay, cool. So, you know, her best albums, I feel like Jewel's best albums, like people's best stuff comes from pain and comes from discomfort. And, you know, I just feel like that might have been, I mean, it's an impetus for you because you were in such a bad place, and you're like, I just need to do something that's so out of my comfort zone.
That's right. 100%.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And you've blessed us all with this comedy.
Thank you.
And like, I mean, it's making a difference. Like, that's what I think is so cool. I don't think you would have gained 10,000 new followers in the past 3 days alone if your stuff wasn't connecting with people on a more, like, not just a surfacey level, but like a primal level. Because comedy, I just believe that comedy is so important for you know, for healing pain and for being able to get relief from pain and stuff like that.
That's why they say I remember laughter is the best medicine.
Is the best medicine. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, girl. Okay. I just, like, there's all these things I want to get to, and I'm trying to also not interrupt you too much. All right. So you committed to doing it at least every day. Then when you started to get on a roll, you started to write down those ideas.
Yes.
And I think that's really important, so you don't lose this great spark, right?
Correct.
And then you started to get smart about it and batch your recording, which is really, really important. I think it's important, just no matter what you're doing in life, batch it.
That's right. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And go for it. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so after you start batching and stuff, do you sort of have like a plan of where is this going for you, do you think? Is it, you know, like, do you have big plans? Do you, like, is there a goal in mind? Or is it just like, I just like doing it? Because I don't think that you post 5 times a day if you don't have a goal. You know what I mean?
Yes. At first I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, I just want to do it for fun. But now it's getting to a point where, you know, this has been pretty much a dream of mine since I was a little kid. I love doing this. I've always loved it. I've had a lot of people kind of bash me down and all that stuff. I'm just kind of done listening to everyone. You know, I've been there. I know what that feels like. But yes, I do have, I want to continue to do this, you know, continue with the videos, and hopefully having more original content and more acting. I would love love to do that. Yes.
I think
sure.
you need to do that. Yes,
Yeah.
I think you need to do that. It's absolutely a thing that needs to happen for sure.
Thank you.
So you're not only on TikTok, but you're also on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter. Like you're on all the things.
Yes, I'm pretty much on all, not all active, like on all of them. I'm on Facebook mostly, just like friends and family are on there. And then Twitter, no, not so much. YouTube, I have a couple of videos on there, and I do want to start getting myself more acquainted with that. But the most that I post is on TikTok and Instagram. Those are my two major ones.
Yeah. So if you are watching this and you don't follow her on Instagram, definitely like go do that because it's really fun. Yes. And absolutely join TikTok too.
That's right.
You know, so for me, I have two TikTok accounts. I have one for personal and one for RYR. I only have 2 videos posted on both accounts because I'm a lurker. And for me, I'm like, I don't know what to post because I've seen a bunch of other TikTokers go, you know, really niche down, really figure out what you know is what pops for you, and then keep a lot of your content the same, not all the same, but mostly the same, so that people know what to expect, which I think you do exceptionally well, right? Like I'm not coming to you for like cooking tips. Or although you could do that, right? Like that's not your genre, like that, like Tabitha Brown, right? Like we're not Tabitha Brown.
Oh God, I love her. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Tabitha Brown is also somebody who comes authentically to herself, and now she's signed by CAA and making her own show.
She's got her own show. I mean, she's amazing. I absolutely love her. You know, and it's true. She's true to herself, and that's what's really important.
I think that could be in the cards for you personally. Like, I'm kind of like I could see you doing like some sort of sketch show or some, you know, like little things. I could see you being on a sitcom. I could see you doing a lot of different things. Just FYI.
That would be amazing. That would be, yes.
That's awesome. So for somebody like me, if you were like trying to give me advice as somebody who has been on TikTok and watching it for several months, but has not pulled the trigger on how to like actually make some content, what would be your advice for somebody like me? Because I think a lot of people who are going to watch this now and also in the replay on IGTV and YouTube, like somebody might be going, you know what? Oh, this sounds like so much fun. But I'm too shy. I don't know what to do. I don't even know where to get started. What would be your advice for them?
I get a lot of messages like that. Like, oh my gosh, I wish I had your confidence. I want to post, but I'm so scared. Honestly, the most important thing that I tell everyone, and it's the one thing that I tell is just go for it. Just do it. Just like the Nike, you know, the Nike sign. Just do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did at first. I was just posting random things about, you know, my dog and like just little things here and there, but it wasn't, you know, what I do now. But I just did it. And then that's what, little by little, honestly, it's like a little wheel. Like, you know, once it starts and then it goes faster and, you know, it's just perfect. Like, you just have to do it. You have to jump. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard Steve Harvey say, like, just jump off the cliff. Like, how do you know if you're going to fly if you don't jump off? So I think that's like really, really just do it. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the perfect lighting. You don't have to have a ring light or, you know, just do it.
Right.
Because that's what's going to get you to be more comfortable with doing the videos. And then that's how I've experienced myself as well, you know. So, and I've grown so much, not only with how perfect it has to be, but just like inside with myself. Like, it literally helps me love myself more because I put myself out there. Yeah.
Oh yes, girl. Yes. If you have watched my channel, my Instagram for any length of time, you know that most of the guests I have, all we talk about is mindset and like,
yes, I love
loving yourself unconditionally.
Yes.
Like, that's all we talk about.
Important.
Oh man. So it sounds like the advice to just do it. That's interesting. I have not actually scrolled through your whole TikTok page to see what you did in the beginning. So that's interesting to me to know that you just started posting and you just were figuring it out as you went. You didn't have a plan. You learned what worked.
That's right. I learned throughout the process. I have videos that I've posted on there of me cooking. I've made some flan. You know, I've had videos.
Oh, by the way, flan is one of my absolute top 3 favorite desserts. Hands down.
If I'm ever over there, girl, I'm picking you up.
Great.
Okay?
I love the juice. And like when restaurants put like whipped cream and cherries and that kind of stuff, I'm like, what are you doing? No.
Just come on. You're just destroying it. Like, no.
Yeah.
You feel me, man? Like, you get me.
I get you. I do.
But yes, I started posting with what worked with me and what I thought was funny. You know, of course you have to also not just post, I mean, out of the blue, but what I liked, that was very important for me. It's what made me happy and what I like to do. So I went ahead and did it. And then, you know, little by little, that's when I started learning what works best. Mm-hmm.
So we talked a little bit earlier about the tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I remember having a conversation when I was a couple years ago with the kind of former clients, and we were sitting down and I was like, yeah, I really want to up my Instagram followers and like that game. And I was like, she had at that time, I think 10,000 something followers.
Oh, okay.
And I asked her, I said, how did you get to that number? You know, and she was giving me some advice, but she said, after a while, there comes a tipping point where you have enough followers that your stuff is being seen. So it's getting shown to more people. Do you find that that's kind of the case with TikTok as well?
I do. It does help, you know, because I had one of my videos go really viral, and then that's when I started picking up a lot of the followers is my little tiny hands with my singing, the brush, you know, that that
might have been the first one I ever saw of you.
So that one was like, it was off the charts. It was like I had like 900,000 views, and then on top of that, Charlie Puth duetted it, and I was like, oh my gosh, freaking out, was, you know, having an anxiety attack and everything. But when that happened, that's when I feel like if I only had done that video, I wouldn't have as many followers as I have now, because I was already making content. So a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, where have you been? Like, why haven't I seen your content before? And it was just like, yes. So, I mean, the other videos are also being shown, which is, I mean, pretty cool. So there's still even videos that I'm like, oh my gosh, I did that like a month or something ago, you know, a month and a half ago, and they're still being shown. So I think that's really cool, you know. So
it's really interesting how Instagram and Instagram and TikTok's algorithms, they really value what's called recency, or at least I've read this. It makes me sound so smart, but I don't know. Where the more you put out, the more it goes, oh, I need to show this to people and see how it hits.
Yes.
So that's why on TikTok specifically, it's important that if you want to go down that journey, that you need to be posting a couple times a day.
Yes.
Well, I probably wouldn't even post, like, if you're new and you're afraid, just do it once a day.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, again, I wasn't posting every day. I was just posting maybe one every 2 days or 2-3 days, or maybe sometimes I'll post 2 videos and then I'd go a week without, you know, posting. But I would get a lot of scrolling TikTok. I would just get a lot of ideas, you know. So I started a lot with that, and then once I think I had more of those ideas kind of, you know, written down or like that I looked at, then I started posting a little bit more. But yeah, just take it. I mean, it's slow. It's a slow process. You know, you gotta kind of find your legs as a creator. That's right.
It sounds like. Yeah, and kind of find your voice. You know, do you find, so just some technical questions because I'm curious, when you're finding your sounds and stuff, are all the sounds that you use already in the app? Or do you like record them and then use them as original sounds? So
in the beginning, I was using a lot that were already in the app. So I'm not sure if you go on TikTok, on the bottom, it tells you what song or what sound is playing. And on the right-hand side, you click on it and then you can just add to favorites and it'll save onto that and then you can use it. So I do that, you know, a lot. But then once I started doing more content, then I started actually looking for my own stuff. So then, you know, I have some original content for mine. And it's really cool because then I have other people who are using it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this person used this and this. I even had one of my original sounds call me Chris used it. And I was like, what?
You're
I
like,
was like
thank you. I'm amazing.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay.
That's awesome. But I know you know, you use a lot of like Disney dialogue stuff. Was that already in the app, or did you like kind of record it and then bring it in?
That was already in the app. That was
okay.
already there. Yeah. And it's like you can go on the search bar too, and then you can look up different sounds. You know, like videos with the different sounds. And yeah, if you're looking for a specific thing. So that I think that's, you know, that's also really, really cool too, you know.
The thing that I have found frustrating is sometimes I'll forget to save a sound I really like from somebody else. And then I try to go search for it, and these sounds are not called what you think they would be called, right? Because there's like copyright infringement, and like they're trying to get around some stuff, and you're like, damn it. And so there have been times where I'm like, I just like scroll until somebody uses it again. I'm like, oh, thank God. And I save it.
So easiest way to do that, what you can do is don't go to the sounds, go to the videos. So if you put Olaf, or you can put like whatever it is, or friends, or any type of content that you're looking for, look for the videos or the tags, because that's where you'll find the sounds. Because the sounds you're like, wait a minute, like this is music, like Olaf, you know, and it's like a different type of, you know, thing. So so that's the key. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, so let's quickly talk about the thing that you just got done doing that you said you're going to be doing another one, which is the TikTok money challenge.
Oh, yes.
That was so cool. So tell us all about that, because I think that a lot of content creators think, one, that if they put out a lot, that it's selfish in some way, which it isn't. And then two, they don't realize that you can start as a creator even having an impact, even if you're not like world famous. And I think that's what you've done really brilliantly. And your video with the food truck was so sweet. And
thank you.
So tell us all about how you did that and what you want to do again, and how maybe we can help and get that word out for you. So.
For sure, yes. So I actually saw another creator. I don't even think it was on TikTok. I think it was like on Instagram or somewhere else. And I was like, the Venmo challenge? What is this? So, you know, I've always, even before then, I was talking with my friends and I told them, like, you can be just giving someone a ride, or, you know, something from the dollar menu, like that impact changes a lot. And then now to come to think of it, that I have this platform where I can actually help other people in different ways, like I'm going to use it. And I know sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is, you know, gonna say like, I'm just trying to show it off, but it's completely the opposite. But yes, so so what I do is I raise money, and I go to like different places. I wanted to do it more with like local businesses, where we're just helping out and giving them a tip, and that's like as a thank you for all of the hard work that they've been doing, especially in these hard times, you know, where a lot of businesses are closing, or, you know, they're just, you know, people are getting laid off and all these things. So I think that was, you know, a really cool thing to do, and I want to continue to do it. But yes, you just have to Venmo. I started with 50 cents. I just told them, hey, just give me 50 cents. And I ended up giving them $500 for the food truck.
Yeah.
In a week. And that was such a blessing, you know? So.
And I feel like the more, that's what's so great about the compounding of getting more followers, is that it also compounds how much you can give back.
That's right. Right.
Because like the more people who know you, the more people, and they're following you because of your content, and you make them feel so good. And then it's going to make them feel extra good to give to the things, even if it is just 50 cents. I think that is so good.
Yes.
It's so good. See, this right here tells me the kind of person, one, that you are, and the kind of celebrity you would be. You would be the celebrity who like just gives away a lot of their stuff because, you know, because that's just who you are, and the background you came from, and just wanting to give back. I mean, you're such a special special person.
Thank you. Oh.
So outside of your
Yes.
outside of your comedy content, you also have makeup content. You're a genius. You're gorgeous. Like, you guys, the makeup looks that she can do. I like put on makeup for you today. I have during quarantine not been wearing makeup. And so I want you to tell us about sort of the makeup stuff, and then, you know, like, do you just do that for fun? Is it something that you're like, that you try to do for a living? Like, I want to know about that. And then I have one actual makeup tip question for you.
Oh my God.
From me,
yes,
that I want to ask you.
Girl.
But yeah, so tell me about your makeup stuff and how you got started with that and what you do and all that.
Girl, I can go back to tell you my high school days. Like, I had my flyest winged eyeliner.
Yes.
They're
yes.
like, they would be like, Stephanie, girl, let's go to the bathroom. Can you do mine? You know, like, I was like, that was me. I always loved makeup. I've always loved anything with beauty. So I'm a self-taught makeup lover. You know, I mean. So yeah,
but it's like your skill is on point.
Thank you, YouTube, guys. YouTube. Yes. And a lot of practice. Trust me, it took some time for me to, learn a lot of techniques, and I'm still learning. But yes, it's something that I love to do for fun. I even considered of doing, like, as a career. I at one point I did want to go to cosmetology school, but it's something that, I mean, I could also have people and do their makeup. Like, I've done it in the past. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I love to do, and I'm still learning. So yes,
it's so fun. And so one of the things that I've seen you do, and I've seen other people do this too, and I'm just like showing my age here, I think, where you'll do your eye makeup before you put the rest of your face on, like before you even put foundation on. What's that about? I've always wondered what that's about. I don't understand, because I'm of the school, like, when I was growing up and learning how to put makeup on, like, they told you to kind of put on, your foundation all first, and then, like, you build, and, like, the eyes are the things that I do, like, kind of the last. And is that wrong? Should I be doing it the way you do it?
No, not at all. I'm a type of person, like, I can't stand when you're, like, watching a thing, like, okay, guys, you don't want to do this. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, you can do whatever you want, and you can still rock it. Whatever,
There's no makeup police who's going to come and get you. Like, grant you a ticket.
There's really laws? No. So, I'm all about, like, what works for you is going to work for you. But I did the same thing when I was, younger. Like, I put all my makeup on, and then I would do my eyeshadow and stuff. But for me, the more that I learned about it, it works for me, because if I put on my foundation and everything else I put on, because it's a lot of stuff to cover, but it would get all on my makeup. So, like, the eyeshadow and all that stuff. So what I do is I kind of get the eyeshadow, and that's the longest for me it takes the longest. So I get that out of the way. My eyebrows and my eyeshadow is the longest. So I get that out of the way, and then I do the rest of my makeup, which is like a breeze afterward. Well, not a breeze, but it's just, it's easier than the eyeshadow. So that's why I do it first. But
okay.
There's other makeup artists that do it after, and that works for them too. So,
yeah. Interesting. Yeah. That's really cool. So, oh my gosh. So we have, I noticed that we have one little question card. I'm curious. Okay. Oh, somebody asked where you get your tiny hands.
Amazon. Everything you get at Amazon. You can get whatever you want.
So cool. And you also, so it's so funny. When I was looking up your, I was like, oh, she has a YouTube page. I should probably go on there and watch some of her stuff. The video of you having your friend over to do her nails, I was like totally hooked. I thought that you were going to really do her nails, and I was like, oh, she's a nail tech too. That's so interesting. I'm not going to spoil it for people, but for everyone who's watching this now, go to her YouTube channel and watch this, and you will be surprised at what really happens when she goes to do her friend's nails. Hilarious. So funny. So back to the TikTok stuff. Is there, because I have like 2 followers, I am not at your level. So is there a time where there's like so many followers that you can start getting paid from TikTok? Like, how does that work?
No, so really, TikTok doesn't really pay you for your videos, but there's actually something that's going on that's happening this month where it's like a fund for
Oh,
TikTok
I saw
creators.
that.
Yes, so I'm like
Yeah.
really excited. I'm like, let me know because I'm gonna get in line to apply.
Yeah.
So it's just yeah. So like I guess they're gonna start something out like I guess like how Instagram does it as well. Like you get to a certain amount of followers and they'll pay you, but
Yeah.
not really. So if you go on live on TikTok, you get if the followers give you like gifts, they accumulate like these little points, and then you get money off of that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's really really cool. It's not for me. I mean, I don't go on live that much, but like it's not a whole lot of money. But hey, you're making some cash there.
Yeah.
But what has a lot of people have been reaching out is for brand, like different brands and stuff like that, and that's how I'm making money.
Well, I was gonna say, like, you're an influencer now.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to think of yourself that way because that's not been your reality before.
Yes,
but like you're an influencer now. I mean, anybody I think over 100,000 is 100,000 is like a micro influencer, but I think I can see you're probably going to reach 500,000 within 2 weeks, right? Like, I mean, your trajectory, your thing. I mean, but really, like from Monday to now, you've picked up 8,000 new followers, and by the end of today, I guarantee you're going to be probably at 305. So it's kind of like you're on this trajectory, and I'm so happy to hear that you're already thinking. You've already thought about strategically what you want to do with it.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm like, make that money, girl.
Yes.
Make it as an influencer.
For sure. But
wouldn't it be cool to do that versus whatever job you had before? Or I don't know, are you working a regular job now too?
No, I'm not. Yeah, so I'm not working at the moment. So yeah, this is a dream job. Like it's hard work. I mean, I know it's just like videos, but it takes a lot of thought and effort to do this. But like I could definitely do this for the rest of my life. Yes, this is something.
And you absolutely should. We did have somebody who says she wants you to say her name, so I'm assuming it's Layla. So she says, "Can you say hi, Layla?"
Okay.
That's for you.
I hope you like the tiny hands, okay? Hi, Layla. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh,
how to throw it in there.
Gotta put the little tiny. Do they just sit on your fingers?
They do.
Is that what they're doing?
And then there you go. I mean, this is just all me.
Did they come already like? Were they pre-blinged, or did you add all that?
I added all of this.
Yes.
See the little rings in the
find nails that could fit on those things. So I made them. I actually bought these at like the drugstore, and they're like the sticky nail fingers, kind of like, well, they're like shaped like this. And then I cut them and I did stiletto nails on it. I mean, they're hysterical. I love it so much. Okay, so we have only a couple minutes left before it's going to kick us off at an hour. Do you think your favorite thing about making comedy?
My favorite thing is, I would have to say, it's just making others laugh, making their day. What makes it all the worthwhile at the end of the day is getting those DMs or comments or messages like, hey, I had such a rough day today and I just really needed that laugh. So that's what drives me. That's what keeps me going. It's for those little moments that just make it all worthwhile. So I think that's the most important thing. And I mean, laughing is just so good for you too. Like, I feel young.
It's an ab workout.
Yeah, that's right.
I just remember I've always been a fan of comedy, and that's the space that I like to work in the best. And I remember thinking, so a couple years ago, my husband had a small stroke. He's fine, but we were in the hospital for a couple of days, and I remember like being on the first day. We were both really scared and kind of whatever. And then we flipped on the TV and Talladega Nights was on, like a stupid Will Ferrell movie.
Yes.
But it really helped both of us, and especially him, just get out of
just
scared, that the fog and the fear and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. And it wasn't until then that I really understood the impact of comedy and why it's so necessary in our society.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. You just never know what might happen. When I was in hiatus, you know, my mom went through some stuff too, and I was in the hospital with her. We would cry and then literally seconds later laugh about it.
Laugh. Yeah.
You know? So, like,
I've been there. I've totally done that.
So, I mean, it's just so, it's, I always refer to Patch Adams. Like, that's one of my favorite movies, you know, and
yes.
I'm telling you, it's like tearjerker, but at the same time, like, all I want to do is laugh, you know, so that's very important. Awesome. Yeah, I get you. I mean, I'm so glad that helped you guys out, because that's really important for sure. Mm-hmm.
And I agree with whoever, you know, put the comments on there. They're like, I had a rough day and this helped. Mm-hmm. Like, I would say that you have actually done that for me too. Yeah, so it's not just like an isolated thing. I think it's an everyday thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got the run out timer happening. I hate that. We'll totally have to have you back. Yes. But if people want to connect with you, if they like want to collab with you, like, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you? Where should they follow you, et cetera, et cetera?
Best way is either TikTok or Instagram, Steffi Saavedra. That is my handle name. You can find me on there, DM me. I have also a link tree on my Instagram and also on TikTok, so you guys can find me through there, through all my social media, and, you know, my contact information. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say, people, I hope that as you watch this, that I think, like, I really wish for you that you can collaborate with a bunch of people and, like, really take off.
That would be amazing. I would love that. Yes, please call me. Chris,
like, call me.
I mean, Jason Derulo, or, you know, like, all these other people.
Maybe you can get like a tiny little plastic cell phone to put in the tiny.
That would be amazing. Yes.
Like little props.
Just like little
props.
I know. I mean, even people want to send me like those little props. I'm like, let's go for it. I need a P.O. box, you know.
You do need a P.O. box.
I know.
That's such a great idea. Also, for those of you guys who are watching, she is going to do a second round of the Venmo challenge. So follow her for that, so that you can help give money, and that she's going to give back to her own community. We have 28 seconds left. So I'm going to say, girl, thank you so much for coming on this today.
Yes.
What a pleasure this was. I just can't even tell you. It's like talking to a celebrity. I'm so
I love you so much. I also want to take the time, like, what you are doing with these are so amazing and so awesome. I love that we're still able to connect in some way, even though this pandemic is happening. I love what you're doing. So just keep going for it.
I was going to cut us off.